Welcome back, guys. So today isn't going to be a very long video, and it's because it's a special video. Wanna guess what it's for? It's our first year anniversary! That's right, my channel is 1 year old. Oh, it's growing up so fast. For today, I'll be going through most of the art I've made through the year. And we'll be starting with, this. This picture is actually the drawing I made for my first video on the channel. You can go check it out, but I warn you, it's cringy and there are some awkward bits where there's no music. Oh, I remember how excited I was to start my channel and post my art, and honestly, looking back at this picture, the more I realize I hate it. It was just a thing to introduce me, I guess, but still, Moving on, this portrait is actually a redraw of a picture made by Star, my cousin. And, like, months later, I realized I didn't even color in her mouth. That was pretty annoying to see, but I was too lazy to fix it, so we're left with this. The third picture is just a really quick sketch I did of a dragon. I always had these ideas for dragon designs that somewhat broke out of the normal scaly dragon design, and this design here was actually inspired by deers. And even though this picture was from really long ago, I still like it. And picture number 4. This piece was also made for a video. It was split into 2 parts because I had art class that day, so it was my second and third videos. This was when I was still experimenting a lot with digital painting, and oh goose, I can still remember how many mistakes I made and how frustrating it was. But yeah, I got through with it. Picture number 5 is actually my first digital painting, if you can even call it that. I remember being so proud of it. I also remember I made these poofy clouds and I loved them. But then I covered it up with all this mist. I don't know why I did that. Picture 6 was also a video. It includes one of the characters from my work in progress story. And looking at this right now makes me realize just how much the design for Kodiak, one of my main characters, has changed. This picture was made really early on in the writing process. And now, picture 7. It also includes characters of mine. It's pretty much Warriors fanfiction. But the thing is, I didn't exactly write the story in these characters. In short, I basically just created a character and world based on the Warriors series, and had a pair of dice to randomize events and things. Basically, it was like Dungeons and Dragons. Just alone. Picture 8 was made for a contest held by my friend, and the winner's picture was made the Discord server's icon. I actually won, so that was nice, and it's still there to this day. Picture 9 was an illustration I made based on a character I had made at art class. I played with the idea of turning the concept into a children's story. It was about a giant fish chameleon and his sea monster friends. I think later in the story, the chameleon had to go to the surface to return a kid's toy, and yeah, it went on from there. But moving on to picture 10, this was a watercolor painting in my sketchbook. and the character in this piece is my youngest and newest OC, Nicole. As you can tell, this boy loves gardening. It's not everything about him, but I'm not going to tell you about him today. That's for another time. Anyway, in picture 11 you can see the art piece the sea monsters illustration was based on. Basically, I had 3 fish-shaped templates that I had to turn into something. And clearly my favorite was the dressed-up fish chameleon. Picture 12 was a sketch of, well, a random person, but I was really happy about it when I had made it, and I still am. If you compare this with the other pictures including people, you can easily see how much I improved with, you know, people. Picture 13 was a still life oil painting I made at art class. I was really proud of myself for doing realism, and I can still admire this painting for its detail. But I'm not really happy with the background anymore, it's a little bit bland. And picture 14. You can clearly see a difference in the painting styles. This was also made at art class, and it is abstract art. And as a person who really loves detail, I can easily say it was tough to resist the temptation of adding more detail. But it was still really fun, and I was also able to make 2 other abstract pieces since it didn't take that long. Picture 15 was another one of the abstract pieces, and unlike the previous one, this has more detail. It was based on a picture of hills with mountains in the background and a couple of houses. I was actually really happy about it. Picture 16 is the 3rd abstract painting, and it's my favorite. It was based on a picture of a lake or river, and there were women in boats putting floating candles on the water. It just looked really magical to me. Picture 17 was a study I did, and I also decided to make a video out of it. This was when I started to get a lot more comfortable with digital painting too. And picture 18. This was the 2020 yearly illustration, and I can confidently say I still like this one with all the really great contrast. Picture 19 is an illustration of a scene from the story Star and I are working on. I haven't mentioned it much, but that's because it's still in the earlier stages. It's called Moon's Curse, and maybe one of these days I'll talk about it more. But before I move on from the subject, picture 20 is an outfit design for the story. What do you guys think about the design? And can you guys guess what the story is about? There's not much to go on, but I'd love to see what you guys think about it. Picture 21 is a sketch from my scribble book. Again, this is one of the characters from Moon's Curse. Picture 22 was also a video, and it was Warriors inspired. It's an illustration of the scene in Warriors Into the Wild where Rusty is looking into the forest. Picture 23 is fan art for the Green Ember series, starring Pickett and Heather. Me and my whole family love this series, and I had made this after we finished it. It was so nostalgic that day. And by the way, if you haven't read it, go check it out right now. Picture 24 is, yet again, more fan art of Warriors. I didn't actually realize how much Warriors-related art I had. But this picture, I tried to do those kinds of movie scene looking like illustrations, and it was fun to try. And picture 25 was a portrait painting I made at art class with acrylic. It was finished in December and I'm really happy with it. Although I see some things I wish I did differently, I still really love it, and especially the girl hiding in leaves. Picture 26 is the yearly illustration I did for this year. It's actually my latest video, so you can go check that out. And picture 27 is a sketch of Frost, my oldest, in creation, not age, OC. Frost's design kind of changes constantly, but that's because I never really took the time to sit my butt down and design him. I haven't done that for any of my OCs, come to think of it, but I'm planning to actually make a series where I design all my OCs. What do you guys think? But moving on to the next and last picture. This is an illustration of a character from a roleplay game, pretty much like D&D, just pirates. Her name is Una Runolf, and in this picture she's mourning for her friend, Redcap, who died in one of the sessions. It was so sad, and I wish I was there because I wasn't able to join the last session. 2 players died, and I've been told it was very emotional. And you see that hat over there? It was actually Redcap's hat, and she wears it in memory of him now. But moving on from that ramble, I must say I'm very delighted to see the improvement I've made through the year. I mean, look at this, and then look at this. Oh gosh, and I can still remember when I only had 5 subscribers. It's grown so much. You guys have been amazing and so supportive. I'm so glad to have all of you, and especially my amazing family and friends to support me. And as always, if you found the video entertaining, please leave a like. If you enjoy what I do and want to see more, I'd want nothing else but to welcome you into the family by subscribing. And if it's still not enough for you, you can always check out my website where I post more regularly. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! For today, I'll be going through This picture is actually the drawing I made for my first video on this portrait is actually a redraw of a picture made by my star. Yeah, star, you're my star. Picture 8 was, whoops. I'm not really happy with what I did with the background anymore. It's a little bit bland from But before I move on from the subject, Pincture? Yeah, sure.